afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and this morning I woke up at 5 a.m. It's a little later in the day than I'm used to having at this point in the day. Alright, today, because it's a little later, I picked a simpler character, but one that I love. Good old Mojo Jojo.
Okay, I'm here.
Man. I'm not going to speak of any other version of the Powerpuff Girls but the original, because that's the one that I love and that's the one that I know. So, Fruit by Batman. Alright. So I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing. Alright. So I'm going to do me some Mojo Jojo. What's really great is I watched a lot of the original airings of the original show. And I mean good. I talk about a show that's way, way ahead of the time, and I don't think I think the people that were paying attention knew that, but just so funny, and the jokes and stuff are so good. Yes, Joe. Mojo Jojo, Joe. and hopefully my energy will stay up, because I got up real early this morning.
I was saying, you were up pretty early.
I'm not sure what that was. I just woke up and went, I ain't going back to sleep. Just gonna go do the do. All right, so Mojo Jojo. So the Powerpuff Girls to me was so far ahead of kind of the curve. I mean, basically, if you weren't paying attention, it's like a little kid / little girl show. The violence then, takes it to another level where you're like, huh? And then they pull jokes and concepts every once in a while that I'm sure a kid would laugh at, but I'm fairly certain a kid wouldn't understand why they're laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Just from the obscene stuff, like the secretary's home address was at 69 Yodel in the Valley Lane.
Yes.
And the first time I saw that, I was like, what?
Well, that the one when they meet the new little girl with the family that moves in next door, and they meet the little girl and they're playing, and something happens with the professor, and it's like, oh, the professor had a little accident. The girl's like, my parents said I was an accident too.
I mean, just stuff like that where it's like harmless humor, but so mature. / immature sometimes. And then they did a rock opera that was messed up to a degree that I think most people just were like, what? Yeah, just think about Thunder and You'll Be Fine. Yeah. The funny thing is, there's a shared quality between some shows that I happen to like. Thundar is included on that list. Powerpuff Girls is another. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is another. It's where they take you to a place you weren't expecting to go through very strange means. And they didn't do it all the time in Powerpuff. They do it often in JoJo's. They do it often in Thundar. But when they do it in Powerpuff Girls, just so good. Just so ridiculously...
So would you say you would be doing Mojo Jojo's Bizarre Adventures?
Yeah, well, I was thinking. I was thinking about that. As a matter of fact, when I was looking up Mojo, I was like, Google Mojo Jojo model sheet, blah blah blah. Two things popped up: Mojo Jojo and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Joe. And I just love that quality in a show where you're just sitting there and they break expectations, and all these shows have their normal default settings. So they lull you into a sense of security. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, it's not for long because you know that they're going to whip out something on you. But then you'll hit this moment where you're like, what? Actually, Regular Show is another one that does that, where it's just like out of freaking nowhere.
It takes the left turn on you.
With them, it was built into like the
formula
of at least the first 2/3 of the series, at least. And
Still, it was the surprise of, okay, how they're going to do it.
yeah, but you never knew where it was going to go. Mitch's glowing, vibrating man packs just to this day, just I can't. It's just so beautiful. It's so ridiculous. Well, beautiful's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
There is some beauty in the horrific.
And it was in fact horrific. Yeah.
His scream is one of the funniest things. One of my favorite sounds.
That was one of them. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. I'm like only remembering a little bit of that one. I've been currently power packing Powerpuff Girls and Super Friends. So I'm kind of just, and I'm usually doing it while like late at night. So I'm a little sometimes fading in and out and mixing it with my dreams. So sometimes I just go like, wait a minute, did that happen? And man, you do not want to have yourself a Super Friends trip.
Oh, I've had some.
Oh, jeez, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, the Powerpuff Girls. That was one of those ones where I was glad that we were. Pardon me, because I had a snack while I'm doing this, so pardon me while I'm chewing.
Oh, it's okay. I've seen you do it before.
I mean, to our people outside.
Oh, that they can't see you.
Well, it's the. There we go.
It's the hideous mushing noise you're making.
Yeah, it's the
that's
sensory,
sending a cold chill down my
the
spine.
ASMR kind of thing. I don't want people to get grossed out by the sound of me chewing when I'm talking, because it's a weird sound. Anyway, it's like the Powerpuff Girls. It's one of those things where I was glad that we were able to witness it in real time as it came out, because.
Well, it's like it is. It's a lot of people probably laugh when I say this, but I think it's incredibly pinnacle work. It marks that period in Cartoon Network, I think, better than any of the other shows from that time period, which is an important time period because when Cartoon Network did that, they sort of reinvigorated stuff and.
Well, it was bringing forth that time period of it was reminiscing back with the Hanna-Barbera time, but bringing it into a modern day twist that
and
was
treated
just
us
funny.
like we weren't stupid children.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, the creator of
Most of the time.
Craig McCracken, he grew up with a lot of that stuff, and he was a huge Hanna-Barbera fan, and also a huge just animation fan in general. And it's funny because he, Lauren Faust, and Jenny Tartakovsky were all good friends at Cal Arts. They all literally hung out together and knew each other.
Man,
and were able
what
to
was
help
that
each other.
like?
Yeah, we got the holy trinity of animation right there of that time, right? And yeah, they were all able to. They all like would pitch ideas off of each other and goofed around, and that's where he got Powerpuff Girls from with whoop ass girls.
Yeah.
Pardon the language.
No, that's what they were called.
Yeah.
It's what was awesome is they're like, oh, a bunch of toddlers murdering villains, you know.
Blood.
You know, like
Blood.
oh god.
But yeah, and they like during those time periods, like, and after they got out, that's when they got like some of their like really cool stuff was coming out. I mean, Lauren Faust did Cats Don't Dance, and then she worked on Iron Giant. Craig McCracken was doing had pretty much almost everything. He was doing Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. He was
Samurai?
Hmm?
Samurai Jack? No, that's not right.
Who?
Samurai Jack.
That's a Tartakovsky.
Yeah, I was about to say that didn't
Yeah.
sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the different guy. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like Foster's Home. I want to say that was he. I want to say he was also. Come on, Brian. Come on, it's right there. Dexter's Lab. But yeah, a lot of that stuff was all coming out at the same time, and those guys were working it and having fun and all that stuff, and it's like that was the main thing. It's like they were bringing the fun back into cartoons, and it was absolutely amazing. As long as you're not Wendy or Marvin on that trip, you'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, those guys actually made me want to try out and go to CalArts, but we were already in school at that time period. But I
Well,
was like, can I?
I kind of feel as if I should have gone to CalArts, but man, I'm from northern Michigan. That is one hell of a distance. I mean,
Not only that,
I don't know if
but-
I could have ever afforded that. I mean,
not-
that is way out there.
Yeah, not only that, but excuse me, tuition is extremely expensive because
Yeah.
CalArts was one of the feeder places for major animation studios.
Yeah,
Disney,
exactly. It was.
DreamWorks was coming into power at that time period.
I just saw the price tag and went,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know.
And for me, it was more along the lines of, do I have the talent to even get here? Because I saw a lot of the people who were coming out of there, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can even bother to stand up with these people because they were asking a lot, and I was already kind of floating around anyway while we were in school because I wasn't used to such a disciplinary.
You're not a
schedule.
disciplined person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my discipline lies in my likes.
Which is not really
And-
discipline, but
Yeah, it's if it's something I'm really and I really enjoy. And I think the thing is with honestly, I believe I'm pretty much I'm ADD or ADHD of some sort.
yeah. And Foster's Home was a great show, wasn't it?
Became a superstar in animation because of Foster's. She that helped her. That pushed her because I mean, like I said, she was already doing Cats Don't Dance, and she worked on Iron Giant. So Foster's was pretty much just showcased her talent from there. Because that was a Craig McCracken joint, but the two of them worked on that together, which also they're husband and wife, so they actually paired up because
What
of that.
is that household like?
Crazy from what I understand, and very fun.
Better be, because if it's not, shame on them.
Yeah,
It should just be like sort of a form of Saturday morning cartoon heaven on earth.
Well, they're both fairly private people because they just
And
want to
they
do
should
their
be.
job. And Lauren Fowl, she became a bit more so public because of My Little Pony, but with all the stupid stuff that happened because of fans, she stepped back and she's like, I just want to do my job.
Yeah, no offense, fans, but you ruin a lot of stuff.
Stop thinking that people owe you things. That's all. That's simple enough. It's like,
Well, no, well, yes, but it's like, and I've probably been guilty of this myself. It's too often that people's love ends up flipping over and kind of turning to some sort of
obsessionary hate. after a while.
obsession or poison or even hate. Yeah, where I've seen fans where you just go like, you realize that you just bit somebody over the Smurfs, right? Kind of a thing where
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like bringing back the My Little Pony thing. Lauren Fell, like I said, she stepped back from social media after a while because
and
when
she should have.
When she, mainly when she left after the third season of My Little Pony because disagreements on the show. She wanted a certain direction, Hasbro did not. So she left and let them continue on, which the show was still good, but she pretty much said, all right, well, this is my creation. Once again, people are
Screw
getting in the
y'all.
way. Yeah, and screw you guys, I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like and even within, she was still active with a lot of the pony fandom and community and stuff because she was the creator. I mean, as a matter of fact, when the one video game came out, Them's Fighting Herds, the quote unquote illegal fighting game for
Yeah.
My Little Pony, she actually put her blessing on that and said, guys, when do I get to play this?
Yeah.
Hasbro once again stepped in, put the band hammer on it, and she's like, well, okay, well, since you're going to do that, I'm going to personally design every single new character for this game. Put my sweat and tears into this. And redesigned
I didn't
all the
know
characters.
that.
Yeah, she redesigned she redesigned an entire staff of characters, a roll of characters for them to keep the game going.
That's marvelous.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure they paid her and all this stuff. But the fact that she's like, well, I had such a heartfelt, great reaction to this. She's like, I don't want to see this project die. Once again, being a really great person, all that. But even with that, and a lot of the stuff that she did, and come in like making public appearances at conventions and stuff like that, fans would just completely just send her weird messages because how dare you put this character with this character when it's like when
It's
like, none of that was even
none of their
inferred.
business.
Well, it's like she's like, I haven't been a part of this for like 3 or 4 years, so why are you mad?
Why are you mad at
that,
me? Yeah.
That one character was in the background smiling at another.
Well, okay. First of all, I gotta say that I don't care for a lot of the stuff that George Lucas did to Star Wars. Period. I just don't. I love the original trilogy unaltered, but other than that, I'm just like, I don't get what the heck he was doing. With that being said, it's his stuff.
Yeah.
If he wants to go and just poop in it, that's his business.
Which you did.
Which I hate doing that because it's like I don't like what he did, but it's his stuff. So it's like he kind of has first dibs on sort of doing whatever he wants.
A side note on
And
that?
I hate to say it, the fans are just the people consuming. They're not the people making.
Again, it's like they owe you nothing.
They owe the creators owe the fans pretty much nothing.
Yeah, on the side
I hate
note of
saying that, but I
um,
don't know what else to say.
On the side note that John Boyega, the guy who played Finn in the new Star Wars movies, the black guy.
My brain just went, on Adventure Time?
No,
I was like,
no.
really?
The black clone pilot.
Yeah, no, I got it now. Just for a second there, I was going like, that voice does not sound like it comes out of that man.
No.
So stupid of me.
But he actually popped up on Twitter, and actually said, and I'm paraphrasing, he's like, y'all old school Twitter fans, or no, he's like, you old school Star Wars fans who are still doing this crap. He's like, guys, and he just basically told them to F off. He's like, stop it. It's over. It's done. Why are you still acting like this?
William Shatner, when he did, I think it was Saturday Night Live when he did it, did the best version of it to me, because when I saw it was years back, and I like Star Trek and Star Wars, and he basically did it was a skit where he was in a truck convention, and he told the fans off, and he told them to go outside and date girls and stuff, and it's not that I hate fans, it's just that, guys, you can't just love one thing. You have to get out and do stuff and blah, blah, blah. And if somebody is so stuck on something that they really firmly believe that they have more right to tell the creators of the thing that they love, it's just beyond me. It's like, you didn't do it. You're just watching it. You don't...
Well, Shatner aside, he's been having his own problems the past 5 years.
I'm not saying
I'm going
anything
into
about
that
that.
one.
I'm just simply saying I think the example holds true.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not sitting here saying that fans can't love stuff. I'm just saying that there's sort of a distance you're allowed to go, and then I can't take you seriously anymore.
Well, let's step away from toxic fans and have fun. Talking
Well, I think
about...
it's a legitimate criticism.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't want to be mean to anybody. I don't. It's just, I can tell the fans that have their head on straight, love their thing, but have their head on straight. They know that there's a dividing line, and the ones that don't, and the ones that don't,
Well, yeah.
I kind of feel for them, because it's like, come on.
Why in the world would you think that it's perfectly fine to send a death threat to a actress?
That's
or
what
actor?
I'm saying. When it gets to that point,
Yeah, it's like, well,
what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, I am just.
It's a car frickin' tune or a video frickin' game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, you're sending. I mean, I don't even understand why people will send hateful messages and threats in the first place.
I don't even
to
get
people
that.
who
It's like,
don't
stop
even
it.
have a second, not even a first thought about anybody, second thought, third thought, but to sit there and to purposefully go, you know what, I am so
I'm gonna
messed
send
up about
poison to
something,
this
and I'm
person.
going to send them a death threat to them or their family or
I don't
their
get
loved ones because they didn't do a character the way I thought that they should be doing.
Well, one of my favorites was at the end of Legend of Korra, where the part of the community was like, how dare you have two women be together at the end of it. Shame on you. You don't have the right to tell these characters what they're going to do. Yeah, they're the creators of the show. They write it. You're like, what? Well, huh? It's like, fine, you don't agree. You have that right. You do. But to sit there and tell the creators they don't have the right to have their own characters do what they want to have done,
Yeah.
that's just you're from another universe. That makes no sense.
And again, to me, that's also, that's, as I said before, that's one of the blessings yet cursed dangers of social media, especially when you go and put yourself up there on a available to the public view, because suddenly the public feels like they have access and they have rights.
They have
to
rights,
you.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you have human rights. And that's about it.
Right.
Which, to be fair, human rights is really important.
Yeah.
But you do not have rights to somebody else's life and their creative ability.
Yeah.
You just don't. Unless it's agreed upon and the person is compensated, then you have rights. You have purchased the rights. But after that, no.
But to demand somebody's time and energy and
To do
space
your thing? Oh, come on.
because you are angry that Twilight Sparkle got wings.
Uh-oh, I better step in and fix this with a death threat. What?
That'll solve them.
That'll fix it.
Oh, golly. Anyway. Oh, hey, Al, how's it going, man?
Yeah, I was watching. How's it going, Alfredo? I swear to God, man, that is, I don't even like saying Al anymore.
Just like call him out.
Alfredo.
Oh, that is his name. Go for it.
A voice, I'm sorry, a name, I almost had that right. A name as smooth as the sauce. Alfredo.
Yeah, you better be lucky they haven't invented that punch somebody through the internet.
It just says spring-loaded boxing glove. Brought to you by Alfredo.
Definitely put the $5 like
Punch
$5
Eric for $5.
by the end of the stream.
So anyway, I was just thinking, huh?
By the end of the stream, it's like you have 3 black eyes, unexplainable. Nose is kind of shifted, blood running down. Well, thanks for joining us.
I made $800 and I got no teeth left. Will not even get close to paying for the dental bills.
Thanks you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Yeah. One moment, please, and then there's like that old TV thing and like a toothless guy.
The old, please stand by over.
There's a dentist going like,
Hey Corey, how's it going, man?
all
Yo.
but Mojo Jojos are bad.
Oh, what was the name of when we watched a couple nights ago? What was the monkey that they
Oh,
flushed down the
Basically, the primate version of Droopy Dog.
Yeah. It was some goofy name, and I love that name.
Pogo. No.
I was like, it's Loopy something pro.
Yeah, it's something really funny.
I'm gonna have to look it up because that was just freaking hilarious.
Hey, Corey, how's it going? Yeah, tonight, this afternoon,
Yeah, but it is
I got up at 5 a.m. this morning. I am a little,
kind of burnt.
I'm a slight, well, that, and I put in a bunch of hours this morning
Yeah, right.
editing a book and stuff, so I'm a skosh burnt, so I'm missing words every once in a while. Not bad for, I'm doing pretty good considering I'm probably the equivalent of having 3 beers in me right now, but
DWI, drawn while drawn while intoxicated. Just funny because we don't drink, but
MWI, mojoing while intoxicated. It is I. Mojo. Go home, Mojo, you're drunk.
I am not drunk. I am merely inebriated. Inebriation is highly different from
Damn it,
fall
he can
down
still
the
talk.
stairs.
And then he just falls over and his brain case busts open. You know, that's, I think, the funniest thing about him. The voice actor did great. The design is great. The way they use the character is great. But the gag that always got me was the giant brain and the scenes where they bust the brain cask open, and they're just punching him in the brain. It just kills me every single time. I'm just going like, oh God, no, stop doing that, Mojo, run.
The one that got
You
me
poor monkey.
was when the girls discovered sugar with the gumballs, and they were on the sugar rush, and they beat the crap out of Mojo just to get more sugar.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And then
It was the most abusive, drug-fueled, violent sequence ever.
And he was so beat up, and he's just like, his like fingers
so
are broken,
good.
his brain casing is all shattered, it's like sticking out in different areas, and they're just like, what have we done? And I think as they're going on the monologue, and he's just like,
Well, the violence on the show is like the best part because they were legitimately making fun of violence.
yeah.
And it was so effective because you were just as a matter of fact, there was they did it so much. There's one episode, and it happened the first time I watched the episode, years back, when I first saw it, and again when I'm rewatching it on Netflix. The episode where they bring in the Rowdy Rough Boys.
Yes.
And they are beating the Powerpuff Girls to a pulp, to a degree where I am legitimately more uncomfortable than I am during most JoJo's Bizarre Adventure sequences, where I'm just going like, oh my God, this is really unpleasant. And the girls are just getting pounded. I actually went, okay guys, I think the scene is kind of either a high success or a failure. Because it was horrifying. I was just going like, oh. But then you get stuff with that whole... And I'm just going like, oh my God, no, JoJo.
I was laughing because he's just laying there. Oh.
And I'm like,
And
oh.
what have we done? We've turned into the one thing that we didn't want. They're just doing this great monologue of how evil, how horrible they are, and he's just laying there in this pile of dead. And like I said, I laughed so hard because that one sound he made when they changed the camera back to him.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean is the original Powerpuff Girls. I legitimately view as one of the most important cartoons of the last quarter century.
Of the modern cartoon age, yeah.
Of the modern cartoon age. It did so much, and it was so smart and so dumb at the same time in so many ways. Because like when it was dumb on purpose in a smart way.
Right.
I mean, that's amazing. And it's just such a wonderful show. And I can't watch it all the time because I want to save it. And right now I'm almost all the way through it again.
Yeah, we're on the last season, yeah.
But they just go in and they make these wonderful like episodes just to do a gag. The Mojo, the peeing in the bed episode is just genius. Do you guys know that one? It's freaking amazing. There's this whole bit. It's currently on Hulu.
Yes.
It's on Hulu. Both the new version, which I haven't seen, and the original. They don't have the movie, unfortunately. I've been wanting to see that again. But
Joe says, Bella Treatment episode, beating them with a kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. The whole like they were super sweet and they kissed him and the boys didn't know what to do. It was so funny.
Oh, my favorite.
And then they exploded and ended up in hell, if I remember correctly.
Oh, my favorite one is like when the boys, like when they would keep doing stuff and the boys would kept growing. And so finally they're like, oh, how do we beat them?
My God.
And they're like
until they made the boys shrink.
Yeah. Threat their masculinity.
Oh, so smartly written. So funny.
I'm just like, thank you guys. Thank you for which speaking of the standards in practice.
With Stan Practice and his
Practice.
Stan and Fan Practice, yeah. Where standard practices show up and told them they couldn't be violent anymore. It's so smart. It's so and so they couldn't actually do their jobs because standards and practices are telling them that they can't be the Powerpuff Girls anymore. Freaking brilliant. Do you guys know what standards and practices are? I'm sorry, we talk about dumb cartoon
Oh yeah,
stuff
of
all
course
the
they do,
time.
because they're.
I figured as much, but I don't like to just assume.
Yeah, they. Joe says Mojo Jojo in the Beetle episode making fun of Yoko Ono. Yep. And Corey says, friend from college working the Powerpuff Girl movie. Nice. That had to be fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the Yoko Ono one. She was it Mo? Who was it? Mo? What was her name? The lady monkey that came in and.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was the whole the details, yeah.
Another one of my favorites was what was it, the feminist villain? What was her name?
Oh yeah.
The
yeah.
Power Blonde.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, that episode was so brilliant because they brought up feminist issues, and where they had a point, they kept it, and where she was going overboard, all the older females in the show showed up and it was like, no, girls, don't listen to her.
Right.
She's taken this stuff way too far. And it's so brilliant because it had a really solid dose of like sexual feminist sexual as in sex, the sex politics. And a lot of the points that was made on that show was the same stuff I was getting yelled at me in college. I went to an art college. We had a lot of super feminists, and some of them had points, and some of them went way too far. This just railed on they going too far, and that's what I loved about it, because I was going like, no, they're talking about it. That's what's so smart. And then the girls are kind of turning into this really unhealthy version of a feminist. And then the older ladies showed up and went, no, 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 and pulled them back, going like, do not go down that road, girls. It's like, no. There's some things we still need to work out, but don't go down that road. And I was going like, that is so smartly written. I mean, you don't see that on a little kid's show. It's so brilliant. It's one of my favorite episodes, and I don't hear people talking about that one that much. I'm going like, it's probably because I locked horns with a bunch of, and when I mean feminists, I mean the hardcore, hard feminists, not the ones that have a point.
Oh yeah, I
you know, because like my editor,
yeah,
amazing.
Lady,
She's right there. She knows what she's talking about. Her points are solid, and when something goes too far, she just points it out.
Yeah, but you also have
You
to
know.
remember, we were in an art school with a bunch of other 20,
I get it.
like late teen, early 20-somethings.
I get it. I'm talking
Everybody-
about the teachers, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, the teachers.
The ones that
yeah.
should have,
Yeah.
calmed themselves down just a skosh.
Yeah,
They were taking things too
I
far.
love the headshot.
Oh, I know. Roots! There we go.
Was he gonna borrow my ruler? Got it right here.
Oh, I don't need a ruler. I have a straight edge right here.
But I was, I remember those teachers.
And it's like, and the thing was I actually kind of liked them, but they just had like this drum to beat, and then they'd beat that drum on the show with this character, and she was really well done. She was just great, and she was fun and everything, but just not quite right. And the girls started going that way, and they were going after dudes and stuff, and like Miss Bellum and what's the name of their teacher? Miss Keene.
Miss Keene, yeah, Miss Keene.
And Miss Keene were like, oh no,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Come on, girls.
Come on, girls, we got to go have a chat. This isn't good.
Joe says because they looked up to her because they were one of the few female heroes on the show. Yeah, and she was because her insignia was like a fist with like the female symbol.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Well, that's what I love is they had these wonderful characters that were cartoon villains, that were silly. And then they had a number of them that symbolized things. And there weren't a ton of them, but they were, and it's strangely enough, usually the female characters.
Right.
And I just really enjoyed that because they were kind of making these wonderful points. Except for the rowdy rough boys, I think they were clearly there to kind of go, what's the inverse of the sort of ridiculously, how stereotypically boyish is just kind of like not very awesome.
I mean, it was,
Like boyish is awesome, but like that real hard stereotype of punch, burp, fart.
yeah.
You know, kill, 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 eat a burger, punch, fart,
Yeah.
burp. It's kind of like, I'm a dude, I'm covered in hair, I'm sick of it. You know, like, come on now.
It was like, it was the
That's why I watched the Powerpuff Girls.
it was from the original rhyme where the Powerpuff Girls came from. This the sugar and spice
Yep.
and everything nice, and they were made of snips and snails
Snails
and
and puppy dog tails,
yeah.
But that's what I really love is they went in and they kind of did this wonderful boys versus girls thing, but they did it in this really smart, funny way.
Right.
Instead of this dumb, stereotypical way that kind of a lot of earlier cartoons would do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that stuff sort of worked, and sometimes it didn't. This worked. It was just so funny.
Right.
Eat a burger, punch. Eat a burger, punch, punch. Scratch, scratch, burp, 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 punch, punch.
Flick a booger.
Yep. Pick a burger. Pick a booger. Eat a burger.
There
I
we
got
go.
up at 5 this morning. Can't quite form words right.
La 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 la, make a googie.
Yep.
Joe says, I love the female Viking that befriended them.
The which one?
Let's see, the one who thought Bubbles was the leader.
Oh! Oh! Well, like one of my favorite female villains, and they didn't use her a ton, but she had one good episode, and then she was sort of usually in the background, was the hair.
Oh, Sedusa.
Sedusa.
Yeah.
And I think they actually should have used her a little more, but I love that she showed up, and when she showed up, she was okay, this is not quite right, but it's sort of right. She was sort of a walking sex doll.
Yes.
But like a pristine 1950s pure sex doll. It was a weird, wonderful combination of like, this just blank slate of a girl who was supposed to be like this ideal / kind of spooky hot. And then, she takes the costume off and she's this crazed seduction villainess. And I'm like...
Or the one where they tricked, Mrs. Bellum, they put her in the costume and tricked her. That was good. I was like, wow, they actually pulled one on that one. Good.
I love Miss Bellum.
She is such a great character.
Well, what I love about her is, okay, firstly, she is like the archetypal hot, curvy redhead like Jessica Rabbit. Then they gave her her own kind of funny things, like they never show her face, yada yada, and then that great, deep, confident, competent voice that's sexy but not too sexy and is just spot on. And she's the perfect...
She should have been the mayor instead of...
and except for Monopoly Mayor, she was just this wonderful character who was just hit the perfect counter to him. Oh yeah, no, it's I can't watch Powerpuff Girls all the time, but when I do, I like to watch all of it. It's just so good. Even the weakest episodes are good.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of episodes that are comparatively weak, only because the really good ones are so smart.
Right.
And if you guys know, wasn't Sedusa a Bond supposedly? She might have been a Bond girl. I know a lot of Bond girls. Let me think about that.
Let's see, 'cause
I'll
that's your
relook at that
area
design.
expertise.
Maybe she was designed after a Bond girl. That's possible.
Let's see, the Bond girls, that's your
Hey, Jay.
area.
I'm sorry.
Jay!
You're my personal Jay, which means that means Jason. Dang it.
Wait, what?
I call him Jason. I've always called him Jason. I saw Jay on there. I'm like, wait a minute, I said the wrong thing. Oh, Joe. But yeah, if anyone has seen either enough of the anime version of Powerpuff Girls, which admittedly I couldn't get very far into. I didn't see Powerpuff Girls, so I didn't really go back, and that's probably not fair of me. Or the new Powerpuff Girls, which the moment I heard they didn't use the voice actresses, I just didn't feel like watching it. But I don't know if it's actually a good show or not. I just kind of automatically assumed that it wasn't, and I don't know that, and that's not fair. But I'm also kind of going like, are you guys creating a show as smart as the original? Because if you're not, I'm not real interested. But if you are, has anyone?
Two people call me
You'll
Jason.
have two people come. Yeah, but then you know who it is. It's either me or the other one. So
It's Mom.
his mom.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta look it up and see it. I don't even know if Craig McCracken was even involved in the last show.
Which is why I'm kind of concerned, because when you sort of, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but when you move a show to a different crew, and like wholesale, like it just, even some of them weren't consulted, I'm kind of going like, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but I haven't seen it. And it sort of has points against it because of that in my head.
Yeah, he wasn't involved in the.
But
in the
it's,
remake.
to me, it's also not fair that I think that way, because maybe it is a good show. I don't know.
They had 3 seasons, and that was the. I want to say it was the 11-minute. Well, yeah, they're keeping on with the 11-minute format, so 2 episodes.
It's a good format.
Yeah. And
And really, Powerpuff Girls only broke that format a handful of times.
yeah,
Like the
usually
rock
specials.
opera one was a full length.
Yeah, or either like they had like special ones, like holiday ones or something like that. This says, yeah, I wasn't interested once they replaced the voice actors, but it could be like you said. Hey Brandon, how's it doing, dude?
Hey man, good to see you back.
Hey. But yeah, trying to think. Yeah, the rock opera one. I would check it. The interesting.
That was
fact-
like the seminal extra long Powerpuff Girls episode.
Yeah, that one.
That is so weird, it's amazing.
All right, here's where my weird cartoon knowledge comes in for that one. All right, so that one, of course, it was based off of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay, to me it felt like a classic,
Yeah, which
like
yeah,
60s?
70s.
70s.
Well, no, I'm sorry, 60s. Yeah.
I was about to say, because it has that whacked, we're stoned while we're writing this musical kind of feeling to it.
Late 60s, early 70s was that one. Yeah, it was it was
I mean, there were even hippies in it, so.
Yeah, well, Jesus Christ Superstar, and well, Jesus was in it. And
Well, it's Powerpuff Girls. He should show up, like, at least once
which, funny enough,
during the rock opera.
that episode did not air in the United States. They only aired in Canada.
God bless America.
Huh?
God bless America.
And the reason why it didn't air in the United States is because the exploded buildings after the big fight, they were afraid it looked too much like busted up crosses, and because of the appearance of the Jesus-looking character, they didn't want to. They thought that it would be offensive.
They didn't want to scare the greatest nation on earth. What?
Or not
Why do we
scare, offend.
offend? Oh my! Please, it's a cartoon, people.
You know the history
Yeah.
of cartoons in America. If they
Bunch
could
of
choose-
full-grown babies.
If they could choose to be offended about it, they will.
Why in the world do we act this way as a country?
Darren Stewart is watching. Hello, Darren.
Darren Stewart. How's it going? Oh, we're doing Mojo Jojo today.
But yeah, that episode was, it was like I said, the rock opera. And
The rock opera was just amazing.
Another-
Even if some of the singing was not up to snuff. And I'm not a musical guy, and there's a few moments where I was even going like,
Well, we're having characters who don't know how to sing, which is funny.
no, the fact that they did as well as they did is amazing.
Yeah, the funny thing about that, the guy who was.
I mean, Professor Utonium punching meat and trying to be a
Yes.
rebellious rock star was
Yeah.
funny in ways that I'm having a hard time even putting into words.
The guy who was the voice of the gnome who took over was.
That dude had a voice on him.
Well, that's Jess Harnell. He's a rock star, and he's the voice of Yakko from Animaniacs. He actually has a rock. He's a rock
Heck
star.
of a voice on him.
Yeah, he actually is a rock singer, for real.
You could tell. That was I was listening to him and I was going like, "Holy crap, he's a rock dude!"
Yeah, he actually is a rock guy. And also, voice of Buttercup, E.G. Daly. She also is she was a one-hit wonder rock star in the 80s. And so also that's why she was able to sing, because she already has the pipes too. But when Her one,
do I know the song that she did?
probably not, because like I said, it was a one-hit wonder, very one-hit.
Oh, so like extraordinarily one hit.
Yeah, the song
Okay.
the one song that I know of hers is called "Wild Child," and
I'm not sure if I know that
I
one.
like it. And
Not
it's
that
kind
I'm a
of
musical expert.
It's kind of it sounds like I shouldn't say sounds like, but she was definitely following in the steps of Pat Benatar with it.
Mm.
It's
a good path to go. She had a good song
yeah,
too.
and the song is not it's not super great, but it's not super bad either. It's a decent song.
Considering it was the 80s, there was a lot of bad music in the 80s that we all want to forget about. We just remember about the good stuff, you know.
I remember the bad stuff too because I love music, so I gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
But with her,
Powerpuff Girls Z.
yes, that was the anime.
Was
The
that?
Japanese
Oh my God! I forgot
Yes.
that was the name.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's amazing or awful.
Yeah, that was it. I watched, I'm gonna say like 1 or 2 episodes of it, and they did the magical girl treatment with them. I remember
They did that to
Buttercup-
Dirty Pair too, and I don't understand why.
Buttercup had I think she had like a battle hammer, a magical girl battle hammer, so it was all like floofy and.
Okay, personality-wise, I see why they did that. But she's awesome because she knocks people's teeth out of their mouth with her little pudgy fists. That is why she's hilarious. Not because she needs a magical sledgehammer.
Jay says it's amaze balls.
Is it really?
I will take your word for it, Jay.
Maybe it is. Like I said, I watched a couple minutes and just went, I'm not understanding what I'm seeing. So I kind of shut it off. Not to mention, I only had a chance to really watch a little bit, so I didn't have a...
Yeah.
But I got to admit, it's kind of like when they did X-Men, or when we do one of their... like when we did Street Fighter back in the 90s on television, it sucked so hardcore because that we didn't even understand what it was. That's kind of like, to me, what Powerpuff Girl Z felt like. I'm like, did they understand what they were doing? Because I so love the original show that I kind of went, I'm confused. You know, like, what's happening?
All right, today's weird thing of American over into Japanese. This morning I saw an ending sequence of a 1970s Magical Girls series called like Momoko Tickle or something like that. But the ending sequence, for some bizarre reason, had Tweety Bird in it.
What?
He's literally sitting there just kind of hanging out, waving as the Magical Girl sequences go by. And he was sitting there just having a good smile with the girls. And there's a scene where they're at the beach in the water and he's just floating like a duck. Smiling. It was one of the weirdest things. Like, I looked up.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked it up.
I'm wondering if they got licensed to do that.
And at the end of it, it said, in English, it said, the copyright C, Warner Brothers. And that was it. Like, he was in the end sequence. He wasn't in any anything else other than just the end sequence. And
Well,
halfway.
They probably felt like doing something a little wacky.
Yeah, like half of the series he was there, and I think the other half he was gone. But it was just such a random thing of just like Magical Girl series end sequence. There's Tweety Bird.
To be fair, I could think of a lot of things that wouldn't go into the end of a Magical Girl end sequence, and Tweety Bird's not bad. It's kind of fun.
But it was
I mean,
just so
it
random.
struck me as a little weird when you said it, but now that I'm thinking about it,
Jay says I should get a mic from me for the stream. I'm good sitting over here yelling.
we're slowly evolving. But the fact that she shows up on mic,
Yeah.
especially that you're kind of set back a little bit,
Exactly,
kind of
yeah.
makes it feel like our living room, which is literally what's happening. So,
It's the studio.
behold our studio.
But yeah, the Street Fighter was so, yeah, man, Street Fighter.
Studio.
I actually have the entire American Street Fighter series on DVD, thanks to an old friend of ours.
Well, I think you can go on to Tubi. I think it's on
Yeah, I think
Tubi.
it's on Tubi also, but
Why you'd want to sit through that again, I have no idea.
because
But
I need to torture myself because I am
it reminds me of what goodness is.
I am such a huge Street Fighter fan that yes, I put up with that and also the American Street Fighter comics put out by Malibu Comics in the 90s.
Oh, even with I got 1 or 2 issues of that back when they came out, and they weren't necessarily awful. It was just that they kind of went, you know this Japanese thing that they're doing? Let's not do that. Let's just make it, you know, like an American thing. And so, like, all the characters were rewritten to these kind of dumb American stereotypes, and you're going like,
Well, it was just bad overall because, like, the one issue that I had was Chun-Li and Ryu fighting, and she knocks him down, proceeds to take off her ox horn coverings, and just does the whole glamorous hair flip thing, and then mounts him.
well,
I'm like, wait a minute, I love me some shipping, and I love me some Ryu and Chun-Li shipping, but I was not prepared for this so early in this comic. Before he's just like, no, I can't do this. It's the way of the warrior.
but I'm a modern girl, and
Oh my gosh.
nice.
Oh, right on, man. That's a good purchase.
Yeah, that should be good. She should like that. All right, I have to admit that I am running out of juice because 5 a.m.
Yes. I'll see.
But it's not. Ooh, I gotta go over here. I gotta clean up. Okay, now I'm done. All right, I'm gonna do the little phone. All right, it's not bad. I kind of like it. I think it could be better, but it's not bad. It's definitely better than when I tried to do one of the Powerpuff Girls earlier. I want to reapproach that. I don't think I can draw them the way they're drawn in the series. It's just not the way I draw. So maybe I need to try them again the way I would do it more.
Just finish John Wick and love the fact that as bad as he is, he's not able to kick him and do the jumblies.
I watched the first John Wick. That was really, really fun. I've been meaning to watch the others, just haven't gotten to it.
I still have yet to see. I've been wanting to see because it sounds like it's a good. It sounds like it's right up my alley.
It
with the kind of
is.
movies they are.
I am not going to use the word mindless action flick, but it is a archetypal action flick that kind of plays off of stuff you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really well done and really fun. So
Yeah.
it's not like revolutionary or anything. It's just freakishly well done.
Right, right.
You know, it's sort of like when Arnold Schwarzenegger did his 80s action movies. Like, how many movies did that man make? But he made so many of them, and the vast majority of them were so good, even if you had seen the other ones, which were almost the same movies sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So John Wick is kind of like that. It's like, oh, I've sort of seen this, but
But it's
dang it, it's just so well done.
yeah, about to
You
say
know.
you've seen it, but it's like James Bond. You've seen it over and over
Yeah.
again, but the fact that how it's once again it's the well, how is it going to go this time?
Yeah, I mean, how many times did villains steal nuclear weapons and or Russian or American capsules in space with, by the way, the same footage from the other movies? It didn't matter because they were so much fun. You were just kind of like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just keep watching. I'm having fun.
And I don't mind as long as it's a good fun movie. Formula works when it's fun.
Yeah, I have not seen the second or third, but I'm looking forward to it. All right.
Alright.
Just real quick, Jason, you're on here, and Lashida, we do need to talk about that idea I had earlier about the thing. So, anyway, catch you guys later.
Alright, thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it. You gotta do your Mr.
Gotta do the
Rogers
thing,
Yep.
and the thing. I'm feeling lucky.
Alright, thank you guys always for joining us. We appreciate it. We love
Yes,
talking with
thank you.
y'all, and it's always so much fun.
Oh! I almost did it, but I failed. I almost looked like I knew what I was doing, and
All I see is your face, and
ha!
and it's just really bizarre.
What now?
So all I'm seeing is your face. I'm not seeing what you're doing. I'm seeing you. Oh, and I'm not seeing what your hands are doing. So it's like it's tripping me out, man.
It's okay. It's okay. We're all adults here. It's gonna be marvelous.
All right, thanks,
Yes,
everybody.
we'll do. Good one. Have a good week. We will catch you next time. And just remember, fall and winter's on its way. Enjoy the sun while we got it.
Stay hydrated. Keep safe. Wear a mask when you go out. Wash your hands.
Blah, blah, blah. Forza! Anyways, everyone have yourself a good one. And